So I said I wasn't going to make another video, but I think I'm going to make one now because I just listened to a podcast with Sam Harris and one of his guests, Juliette Kayyem, who served as basically security advisor for two presidents, Clinton and Obama. I think so. So forgive me if I got it wrong, but yeah. So the podcast itself was, interesting, especially when the whole idea of profiling came up and having been subjected to profiling in the past at an airport. I can say that it's quite the experience. It's kind of it's nothing completely horrible, but I mean it's something that kind of takes you off guard. You're just not sure why you're being pulled aside. But as they discuss, there's an element of randomness to it. So they usually profile people at random. But apart from just the profiling based on random airport security or whatever it is, there's also the idea of profiling in general, like maybe some sort of maybe I'm talking about some sort of societal or some social stigma or some social understanding of what constitutes a Muslim or a believer. So while understanding that it's radicalization doesn't exist just within Islamic communities or Muslim communities or just in Christian communities or wherever else, and the idea that fundamentalism does exist across the board when it comes to religion, I'd say that there's still a level of profiling that may or may not happen. But I wouldn't necessarily call it Islamophobia, as a lot of people like to label it. I would call it more, to a certain extent, racism. Because they actually look at your physical attributes and kind of pull the rest from there. So I think what they're referring to as Islamophobia is actually racism, is what they're referring to. Some of the cases I've heard of Islamophobia happening are actually quite racist, as opposed to based on the ideology of Islam. But there's this propensity to take the criticism of the ideology as racism or as Islamophobia. So it's neither here nor there for me. There's tons of little blurry places that need to be kind of worked out, but that's what it is for me anyway. So yeah.